Hi, Eliana. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the class started with or without any additional attendees. They're not here yet. Hopefully they join us, but whether or not they do, we're going to get started without them. So this is the advanced class. The advanced class covers items in the software that people are usually unfamiliar with, even though they use the software on a regular basis. So it's not for beginners. We're not going to talk about, basics like booking appointments and processing standard sales and things like that. We're going to go over some things that make the software a little bit more unique. One of those, where we're going to start, and by the way, just like I say with all of my classes, please interrupt me with any questions that you have, because if you don't interrupt me, I'll just run right over you, because I'm going to try to get a lot of info out in a short period of time. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be talking about is something known as the reception workload. And that's something that people just have no idea. They're just unfamiliar. And you'll find that from the main menu under Other, third from the bottom here, it says reception workload. And you get this little graph. And what this graph is really telling you is, based on your appointment book and based on what people are having done, et cetera, this is how much time the system believes, on an average of 1 minute for check-in and 3 minutes for check-out, how long it's going to take you to check people out at the business, at the front desk, check in and check out. Now, the reason that checking in is just 1 minute is because, quite honestly, checking in is as simple as right-clicking on their appointment and selecting check-in. Whereas check-out, of course, is when people are actually paying, and they may be paying in multiple forms. They may be grabbing a product off of your shelf to purchase, as well as paying for their service. They may also be adding tips or gratuities, etc. So again, what you see here, kind of see-through, or you could call them the gray spikes. The gray spikes are your checkouts. The black spikes are your check-ins. So you'll notice that at 12 o'clock, or actually it looks here more like at about 11:30, you've got a spike of check-ins. This is the people that are coming into your business. And you have about the same spike for checkouts. But over here at about 1 o'clock, you've got a really big spike of checkouts. So you're going to have multiple people coming to the front desk at the same time, because according to the system, there are multiple people that are checking out at that time of day. So they're going to be coming up to the front desk based on 3 minutes for each. In this case, I've got, at about 1 o'clock, it's going to take about 9 minutes to check the people out that are coming to the front desk. Whereas, say, at 10 o'clock, it's going to take about 1 minute, or in this case, 3 minutes actually, to check people in. And at 11 o'clock, 1 minute to check people in. That means that there's probably one person checking in at 11 o'clock, 3 people checking in at 10, etc. Over here, I've got about 7 minutes at 12 o'clock, so you've got multiple people checking in, etc. So that's what this graph is really showing you, is how busy your front desk staff is going to be at a particular moment in time. So this can help you schedule your front desk. So if you've got 2 people that work the front desk, but usually only one is working it at a time, you might look at this and say, you know what, between this hour and this hour, I need to have 2 people at the front desk, or 3 people at the front desk, to speed the process up so I don't have people waiting in line too long. So that's what this is. And you can go day by day by clicking on, and you can see different days and different spikes, etc., based on the appointments that are on the appointment book at that time. So the appointments that I have for today, being the 30th, excuse me, looks something like this. Does that make sense? Do you understand how that works?
Yes.
Okay. So again, you find that by going from Other to Reception Workload. So this is your reception desk, and that's what it's telling you. Okay. So there's that. The next thing that we're going to talk about is promotions. Now, everybody knows what a promotion is, of course. You're, usually doing an advertisement, usually giving some kind of discount or something like that. And so the software is going to work hand in hand with your marketing to get what you can do is set up promotions that your front desk staff doesn't even need to be aware of necessarily. The promotions will still work. So you're going to tell the software what promotion you're running, and then if somebody gets a service or product or gives you a referral or something like that during that promotion time that you have set that particular promotion up for, it will give them whatever that discount may be or additional points, etc. So let's take a look at how that works. Again, we're going to go to Other. From Other, the first four here, Rewards Promo, Retail Promo, Service Promo, and Operator Promo. Those are our four different types of promotions. So we're going to start with Operator Promo. So I'm going to click on that. Now, this is where we're going to set up promotions based on our staff members, and that's why it's called an Operator Promo. So this promotion that we're going to create is based on our staff members. So we can give it a name. I'm going to call this, who do I have in here? I don't even know. Let me just take a quick peek here. I've got Sasha, Fiona, Angie, Sarah, etc. Let's go with Sasha. So I'm going to go to my Operator Promotions, and I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this Sasha's Spring, promo. So this is Sasha's Spring Promo, I'm calling it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be for an individual operator. It could be for multiple providers as well, but I'm just doing this one for Sasha. So then I give it my effective dates. And I'm going to say that it's effective from May 1st to June 15th. So I choose my dates. So I'm saying from May 1st to June 15th. Then I can choose groups that Sasha may work in. So I could go with all groups and then everything that Sasha does, or I could go with an individual group and say it's just perhaps for that group of services. But I'm going to say all groups. And here come my staff members that work in all of my groups. And I'm going to say Sasha. So because I'm doing this for all groups for Sasha, that means any service that Sasha provides is going to get whatever discount I'm about to set. Now, if I have already created a discount coupon, it's going to be listed here for me. So I've got all of my different discount coupons that I've already created here. I'm going to make a brand new one. And how do I do that? I click on this one here that says discount codes. I don't have to make a new one if I've already got one that'll work. I could just choose it from my list, but I don't. I'm going to make a new one. So I'm going to go to my discount codes, and I'm going to give this a name like SS, and this is going to be called Sasha's Spring. And now I get to say, is it a dollar amount or is it a percentage? I'm going to say it's a percentage and that it's 15% off. Now, if I say discount all, if I make this blue, that's going to discount everything on the ticket. Well, I might have multiple people on the ticket, so I don't want that. And if I check this, then that means that this 15% discount is not going to affect my provider's commission. If I leave it gray, it is going to affect my provider's commission. I'm trying to get people in here to see Sasha, but I am going to tag her commission for that 15% because what I'm doing is basically trying to build her client base, but I'm charging her essentially by saying, look, I'm giving them a 15% discount to see you, but your commission is going to be affected by that. So then once I've got what I want set up, then I say accept. And that code now exists. So I can get out of it. And now that code is going to be listed here for me to choose. And there's my Sasha Spring. So I'm creating this promotion, Sasha Spring promo from 5/1 to 6/15, all groups for Sasha. Any service that means that Sasha does is going to automatically have this applied to it, a 15% discount, as long as it's within that date range.
This would work, like, for instance, now this is going to be like let's say one of my hairstylists comes over and says, hey, you know what, for the next week, I'm not going to charge for blow dries because I'm going to promote my blow dries. So I could just set it up for a shampoo and style to take off a certain percentage on just that one person. So every time somebody comes in, those clients that come in aren't going to be charged for that blow dry for just that particular person and no one else.
You've got it. That's exactly right.
Okay.
You've got it. Okay. Now, again, as I said, though, you could have set this up for multiple people. You could have said, you know, this Sasha Spring promo is good for Sasha, Zena, and Sarah. You could have done that, but we're just doing this for this one person, and you're absolutely right. The way you just described it, you would be able to do it that way, yes. So I'm going to say save. So that means starting tomorrow, from May 1st to June 15th, anybody that sees Sasha is going to get an automatic 15% discount on the services that Sasha offered. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. We just talked about an operator promo. This one's going to be a little bit faster because it's very similar to the operator promo. and that is the service promotion. It's similar, but this time it's not based on the provider, it's based on the service. So I can go here to my promotion description, and I could give it a name like massage promo, and then give it my effective dates. And I'm going to say it's just for this weekend only. So I'm going to say that from Saturday the 5th, maybe I'm open on Sundays, maybe I'm not, but I'm going to say from Saturday May 5th to Sunday, May 6th, just that weekend. Then I can choose a group like massage. And now I can check off individual services, or I could do all of them if I wanted. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select every service, but then I'm going to go back and remove one. I'm going to say not the hot stone. All the others, yes, but not the hot stone. So I just removed that one. Then I can apply a discount code. Now you already saw how I made a discount code, so I'm just going to grab any one of them. In fact, I'll just go with the, let's see here. I think I might already have one called. No, I don't. It doesn't matter. I'll grab the Sasha Spring again. That's 15% off. And I can use that one. That's not a problem. But I could have created a new one called massage or something like that. But then when I save this, what's going to happen then is then hopefully I advertise it and I let everybody know. This weekend only, all massages are 15% off, excluding hot stone. Okay, so that's what I advertise. I send out my emails or I advertise on the radio or whatever it is. I'm just saying this weekend only, all massages are 15% off, excluding hot stone massage. So I save that. So by the way, I set that up. Now, hopefully I advertise it, but anybody that comes in on Saturday or Sunday of this weekend that gets a massage is going to automatically get 15% off that massage, even if I didn't tell my front desk staff about it, except for the Hot Stone 60. If they get that, they won't get that discount this weekend. Okay?
So they don't have to worry, in this case, they don't have to worry about going in and doing the discount code. So this would eliminate, like you say, having to tell the front desk.
That's like exactly right.
That we do. Now, would it work the same? I guess we've already done the operator, you've done the service. Is there a retail one?
There certainly is. That's the very next one that we were going to talk about, retail promotions. And again, it's very similar to the promotions that we just created. So we'll take a very short time creating this one. Our promotion description, this one we're going to call our cleanser promo. We can name it anything we want, but I'm just going to say cleanser promo. And I'm going to say that this one is good from today until Friday. So I might say this week only, Monday through Friday, you're going to get a discount on our cleansers. So let's say, I don't even know where my vendors are, but
okay.
Yep. So I go to my vendors, my manufacturers, and then I can choose my categories. So here are my cleansers. And there's this one here I've got checked. This is my New Height brightening lotion. I have multiple cleanser in there. I can remove those if I wanted to and combine them together. But I'm going to check off every product that they're going to get this discount on. And then again, I can either create a brand new code or I can choose a new one. I'll just go with my Monday code here. And then I advertise it. And I say this week only, all cleansers are going to be whatever, 15% off, 20% off, 10% off, whatever it is I've selected and saved. And then I don't have to think about it. Again, if somebody comes in and buys that cleanser, now that was just one, but I could have had a list of them that I had selected from, all of my cleansers. So I say, anyone who comes in and gets a cleanser during this time, they're going to get that automatic discount. Again, they won't even have to come in with the coupon because the software is aware of it. Anybody that buys that, they're going to get it. Okay, so then we have
instead of reminding the reception
that they have to click on that discount, but they have to highlight something, click on the discount button, then choose the coupon code. Yes, this removes all of those steps. And then we go to other, and we have our rewards promo. Now this one's different than the other three. The other three are going to apply a discount based on the provider or based on the service or based on the product. In this case, though, it's not applying a discount. What this one is going to do is it's going to apply additional points based on a factor of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number you put in here. I wouldn't put a 1 here then because that wouldn't change anything. So we could say, for instance, that our points program right now, let's say we have a points program that gives people, I don't know, 1 point for every dollar they spend on massages. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say this is my May massage promo. So that's what I call this, my May massage promo. Then I'm going to put in my effective date. And so I could say something like 05/01 of 18 to 05/31 of 18. So that's the effective dates of my promotion. And then I put in my factor. Is it a factor of 2? Is it a factor of 3? And what does that mean? Well, let's say that somebody spent $100 on a massage, and that means that they would normally have earned 100 points. Well, if it's a factor of 2, then that same $100 will earn them 200 points. If it's a factor of 3, that same $100 would have earned them 300 points. So I'm going to advertise this, and I'm going to say that, hey, the month of May, you will get double points on all massages, or this weekend only, get triple points on all L'Oreal products, or so you could do it like that, or you could do individual products, etc. But I'm going to say that I'm going to do this on a group like massage, and I'll load up my massage group. Here are all of my massages, and I'm going to select them all. Once again, I'm going to take the hot stone off. So again, I just want to show you that you can remove something if you want to, or multiple things. Okay. But now I'm going to advertise this and say, hey, during the month of May, all massages, excluding hot stone, will have I'm not going to say a factor of 2 because people aren't going to say that. Understand that. I'll just say earn double points. During the month of May, your points program is going to earn double points on all massages except for the hot stone. So that's the way then I can go ahead and I can activate that. It's done. It's activated. So now I don't even have to concern myself. Starting tomorrow and for the rest of the month of May, if somebody earns points, if they're part of my points program, and they get a massage during that month, they're going to earn double points rather than single points because that's the way I set it up. Does that make sense?
Now, yes, it does. We don't do the points, but once I start doing that, I know I've learned a lot on it. Good. Question for you. Back to the service.
Okay.
So I created some services for ours. Now, that particular service, I have it because it's like we called it, I have the B packages basically. For Mom's Day, it's be beautiful, be adored, be loved kind of thing. So, like one of my packages, it's for a manicure and pedicure, you save $5. So on my services on here, how can I have it, like if I do the effective date from now to May 15th, to have for just that particular package, because I had created a discount code. So instead of that discount code, I can use this and just say, take $5 off that particular package. So it's not going to take it off of both services. Will it just take it off of that certain package?
No, this is not based on packages. This is based on individual services. Now, if all of the services are within, say, the same group, then yeah, you could do that. But I can't imagine that they would be, because you can have it on multiple services within a group, but you can't have multiple groups all working. So it's, this is on individual services, not on. Yeah, now if you said, for instance, I have
to do the discount code.
Yeah, if you said, for instance, that you're going to create a discount code called Package B, so you create a coupon called Package B, and on that coupon, you say, apply to everything on the ticket. Then you could do a discount and it would apply it to everything on the ticket. So if there were multiple services on that ticket, then it would apply to everything. But if all you're trying to do is say you want $5 off, if you said you wanted $5 off, it would take $5 off each one of those. So if there were 3 or 4 different services, that would be $20 off if it was 4 services, $15 off if it was 3 services. So yeah, that's unfortunately that would work that way. So that's probably not what you want. Yeah. Now, if you had a service that was only associated with a package and it wasn't sold individually, then you could say $5 off of that, of course, and then when you sold the package, that would include that service and it would take that $5 off of just that one. So technically, it would take $5 off the package and not anything more than that. But that would really only apply if that service was only applicable to the package. If you sold it individually, then it would also get automatically $5 off, and you probably don't want that. So again,
No.
think of the promos in this case, the service promos, think of them working for either individual services or multiple services within the same group. Okay?
Group, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, you could do it for all massages, or you could just do it on one massage or things like that. But you can't say a massage and a facial and nails in the same package are getting the same promo. It's not going to work that way.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Any other questions on the promos before we continue?
No, I think I'm good on that.
All right. Then the next thing that we're going to be talking about is tracking items. Now, a lot of people don't understand what that is. They're just not sure. This has to do with marketing, and it's a way to do unique marketing. So right now, when you say, hey, I want to create a list, most people think of creating a list and they look at something like this. I'm going to go to Darcy. I'm going to go to create a list and say, okay, I want to get a list of all of my women. So I'm going to uncheck male. I've got females here, and I can give it a name like female clients or fem clients, like that. And then I hit create list, and it's going to generate a list for me of all of my female customers because that's all I've selected. I can do additional things like female clients who have a birthday in the month of May and have not visited since a particular day. So I could say their last visit was, or they haven't been in since. I can say somebody that hasn't been in since December 1st of 2017 and also has a birthday in the month of May and they're female. So this is the way I'm creating what's called a targeted list. But what I want to talk about is tracking. Under where it says occupation, you have nothing. It doesn't say attribute or members or skin type or hair color or tanning or family. They're not there. You can create those. And you can create some of those by going to setup, configuration, tracking, and then we can add tracking names, delete tracking items, or set for marketing group. I'm going to say add tracking names. This is what I've created. I've created skin type, and my tracking items for skin type are oily, dry, acne, peeling, hair color. My tracking items for hair color, red, brown, black, blonde, gray, mixed, and my tracking items for tanning, no, yes, a little, a lot, bacon, and my family. I've got married, no kids, married with kids, unmarried with kids, unmarried, no kids. And this is what I've created so far. I can create anything I want. So let's say in your case, you might say, I don't know, let's go crazy. Let's say, you know what, I've got a lot of people who come in for massages because they ride motorcycles. In my neck of the woods, motorcycle riding is a big, big deal. I'm just making it up, of course. But let's go here and say, okay, motorcycle. And then over here, I'm going to say yes and no. Those are my two tracking items that I added. So I just hit yes, enter, no, enter, and now those are there. And I can accept that. So now if I was in a client file, okay, now if I was in a client file and I pulled up a customer, let's go with Catherine Daintree here. That's somebody I never use. And I can now go to her tracking items. And I can say that she has dry skin and that she's a blonde and that she tans and that she is unmarried with no children. And I can say that she rides a motorcycle. I'm going to say, yes, she rides. So I save that. Now, if I were to go into my marketing and create a list and say, I just want all of my women who ride motorcycles. I could have added other things, who have dry skin and add motorcycles or whatever, but I'm just going to say all of my women who ride motorcycles. I just created that and put one person in there, so not many people are going to appear in there, but I'm going to call this Fem Moto and create my list. And it's going to go through every customer I have. It's done. And look, there she is, Catherine Daintree. So maybe one person shows up, maybe 20 people show up, maybe 500 people show up. And now that I've made my list, I can blast it. So I could go to my Fem Moto that I just created, and I can blast a text message to everybody on that list or blast an email to everybody on that list. And if I go to setup, I can make them if I haven't already made them. So here's some that I've already made, my Cameron Test, my Combo Females, my Local Oil Ladies. I'm going to make a new one called Motorcycle Women. And my subject line, hey, open caret, capital CF, closed caret. So this is going to insert their first name. Hey, Sasha. Hey, Linda. Hey, Sally. Hey, Jane. Choose my font size, maybe even change the color of the words I'm about to write. I'm going to make them maybe this bright red here, just for the heck of it. And then my body, and say, again, hey, open caret, CF, closed caret, whoops, open caret, CF, closed caret, comma, we know you love to ride, exclamation point. But riding can sometimes result in lower back pain. We have a special for our female motorcyclists. And et cetera, blah, blah, blah. Just keep on writing. Say what it is you want to say. You can even upload an image. Maybe you've got a picture of a beautiful woman on a motorcycle or something like that, and you want that to be part of your email, or whatever it is. But when you're done, and you can make words bold or underline or italicized, you can even insert hyperlinks. But once you're done, you save your template. So I'm done. I saved it. So now I can say I want to blast an email and choose what I just created. There's my motorcycle women. So if I send myself a test email, I'll get it, take a look at it, see if it looks all right. Yeah, it looks good. Hit process, and everybody on that list is going to get that particular special email that you just created. So again, you can create targeted lists based on your own unique tracking items. That's tracking. Any questions on that before I continue?
Not necessarily on that, but it's related to
Go ahead.
The email blast. Okay, so one of the things that I've learned with y'all's email blast is, of course, I figured out how to add pictures and stuff, that like to add an image. But at the bottom, under all your writing and stuff, it always sends your logo. So I've changed my logos as the seasons change, or the, you know, whatever it might be. Right now I have a Mother's Day thing going.
Okay.
Now, is there a way of setting a logo to it?
No.
Also?
You can change your logo at any time, but you cannot have like multiple logos set for different dates, so that when it comes to this date you're using this new logo. That you can't do. But you can change your logo at any time. So you say, you know what, it's just about spring, so I'm going to change it to my spring or my Mother's Day logo. Now it's summer, I'm going to change it to my summer logo. You could do that, but you have to change it manually each time.
Manually each time, yeah, because
and so it'll use that new logo.
I change it the morning before I know it's going to be sent out, and then I change it back. So for that morning, you know, all my texts and emails are going to get that specific email, and then I want it back to regular. So I found that. So that was one of my questions that I had to ask you guys, if there was any way of changing or presetting the logo, because it would, you know, it'd be helpful. So especially if you set up promotions and stuff to be sent out on eBlast, so that way I don't
have multiple logos that you can select from. I understand. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. You know what? I'm going to, if you don't mind, just give me a moment here. I'm going to write that down. Multiple date-based logos, preset. I don't hate that idea at all. In fact, I kind of like it. That's kind of a neat idea. So I'm going to, when we're done here, I'm going to forward that to development and see what they have to say about it. But I like that idea. But I don't want to mislead you and tell you that it's part of the software and that you can do it now, because you can.
Fine.
So any other questions?
On these lists, on these lists, I mean, I understand. I haven't necessarily worked with them. I know a long time ago when I did, to try to get, like, for the employees, to try to get each one their list so they can update all of their clients' information. If I wanted to make it individual per person, like per stylist, would it be rendered service by their name? So to create the list, you just, you know,
Good
put
question.
their...
Yeah, let me show you something here. Okay, and I'm going to answer that question right now. So in a client file, I'm going to go to Michelle Babcock here. in a client file, do you see where it says main operator?
Yeah, we've been trying our best to make sure, because in the past, before I took over the software, it didn't bother to add all of these things. I have been making sure that if somebody, you know, puts in a new person or whatever, to always, if they see that that main operator is empty, to put it in. And so we have been updating a lot of those. And so I've gotten most of them where they belong. So yes, we know.
Also in history, we also have operators that they've seen. Like on 418, she saw Fiona, she saw Danielle, etc. So if Fiona, though, was the last person she saw. So if I went to my marketing and I said, I want a list of all of Angie's customers. So, or all of Angie's female customers who have a birthday next month or whatever. So, but I'm going to say, I just want a list of all of Angie's customers. So I'm going to just leave it on male and female. And I'm going to come down here. Whoops, I'm going to go over here where it says operators. And I'm going to say Angie and accept. So that's going to pull it based on what you have in that main operator field. But
so I should not do it from that to left. Okay.
That's right. So if, however, I said I'm going to do it from rendered services by Angie, that's different. It may not be, Angie may not be the last person they saw. So when it says rendered services by, it's going to make a list of people who have seen Angie the last time. The last time they were there, they saw Angie. That's what rendered services by does. That's different than operator. Operator means
so
it's assigned to Angie.
Be the main operator.
That's right. Basically, this is Angie's customer. Whereas if I said rendered services by, that means everybody that saw Angie the last time they came in.
Which would probably be better, because I mean, they'll look at that list and go, "Who's this?" Versus if it's their main operator, it's their clients and only their clients. So all right.
Yeah,
so now I know the difference.
Either way you can do, but that's what the difference is. So, all right. Well, any other questions on that before we continue?
Yeah. Okay. So then I go to operator I go to the Darcy. I choose the operator from the side, not the rendered by. And then I'm going to choose like Angie. And so once I choose that, I create a list, because I know at one time we already had like certain list files. So then I just make the name and then just say create. Now, how would I print it out?
Okay, so we've created certain lists here, like Christians, females, and combination, and females, etc. And we also made this one just recently called FemMoto. So let's go with FemMoto, because I know that's only got one person on it, so it'll come up nice and quick. But do you see right here where it says print labels? So I'm going to click on that, and here's a list of all of my lists that I've created. So I'm going to go to my FemMoto. There it is. Now I've got a couple of options here. I've got contents only, no labels, do not resort, and print list invalid address. Okay, if I am looking for a printed out list that I'm going to make phone calls off of, or that I just want to look at, basically I'm saying I want to see a list of all of my women who ride motorcycles, because that's what this list is. Okay, if I wanted to do that, then I would check this box, contents only, no labels. And I would also say print list invalid address. And let me tell you why. Because what this wants to do is it wants to print out a label printout. And so if you're doing labels that you're going to stick on boxes or you're going to stick on envelopes, etc., then you don't want to do contents only. You want it to be in label format. And if you have this one checked that says print list invalid address, if you have it unchecked, excuse me, it will not print out anybody who you don't have their full address, city, state, zip code, street address, etc. If it's missing any of that, it won't print it out because it's trying to print out mailing labels for you. So what you say is, no, I don't want it to print out mailing labels. I just want a list of everybody, and whether they have valid addresses or not, I want them. So I would check those two boxes. And then I go to print. And that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to create my list, and there it is, client number, last name, first name. If their address was there, it would have had their address, their city, state, and zip code if that was there, their telephone numbers if you had those, their email, their first visit to you, their last visit to you, birthday, and anniversary date. All of that's going to be on this list. And again,
and
if you
export to Excel and then
you can export it to Excel if you want. You could have printed it out to mailing labels. You can do all sorts of different things with it. But it's going to make that list for you. And you remember that this list only had one person on it, so there it is. But it could have had 50 people on it, could have had 500 people on it, whatever it may be. And then, of course, if I simply wanted to print it out, I just go to print, and it'll actually go to whichever printer I choose.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember those steps, and I've been wanting to print out the list for them so that they can update their emails, update their, the mailing
Absolutely.
address.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it, because let's say, I want Angie to update all of her customers. Okay, so I'm going to go to create a list, and I'm going to say all customers, and I'm going to go to operators, Angie, and accept, and I'm going to call this Angie's clients. Create my list. It's going to go through every client I have. It's done. 3,499 clients. 3 of them qualified, but it could have been 30 or 300 or 3,000. And then I want to print that list. So I go to Angie's clients. There it is. Contents only. Print list invalid. Print. Everyone who has an address, a telephone number, etc., that's all going to be there. But if any of these were blank, I'd be able to see. So I've got Barb Babcock, Michelle Babcock, and Dana Half here, because these are all fake, of course. That's why they have my email addresses there and fake telephone numbers. But you'd see it. You'd see it immediately. Angie would be able to look at her list and see who she doesn't have addresses for, or who she doesn't have emails for, or who she doesn't have telephone numbers for, etc. So you could create a list and get that information as well. Okay?
Yeah, because I know we've been asking our clients when they call to book an appointment. It's like I've gotten the receptionist also to where it's like when it goes to their phone number, it's like we have a contact information of 713 blah blah blah, and some of them will say, "Oh God, no, that's like 20 years old." So
and now, is that just a policy where they ask, or do you actually have the software asking that information?
No, it's us. It's because you know how when you're booking an appointment, it'll pop up their phone numbers.
Yes.
And sometimes you'll pop it up and there's no number. And so it just helps us, to know that whether we ask for a phone number or we just confirm that it's their phone number to make sure, like, I have I'm the one that started that. And I would just say, I have a mobile contact number here of something, and they'll say, oh, that's my house, or, so I switch it around to where it belongs. And like I said, we're just updating all that information. And
what that means is that you've got this preference setting. In appointments, you have this preference setting checked, confirm client's phone number after booking. So when they book it, it pops that window up showing you their phone numbers or not, so that you can confirm them. That's what checked on yours. That's why it's doing that. You could confirm their address and email as well, or you could check their gender preferences if you'd like, or let's just stay there, confirm client's phone number. Well, I'm not going to do that for my demo, but you could also require it though. That's different than confirmations. A requirement means if you don't have their phone number, you can't book the appointment. Or if you don't have their email address, you can't book the appointment. Sure. Just want you to be aware that those preferences are there.
And those were in the setup?
Yes, you go to setup, preferences, appointments. And then you'll find under your confirmations and requirements here. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions before we continue?
Nope.
All right, then the next thing that we're going to be talking about is creating a marketing list for reviews. So how do we do something like that? I want my customers to review me. It's important that I get positive Google Plus reviews or positive Yelp reviews, whatever it may be. But I also know that I might get reviews from people who weren't happy. And it happens. In fact, most studies show that the people that are most likely to write a review are people who are unhappy. And because reviews are so important now, because especially with the millennials, they're checking out Google Plus, they're checking out Yelp before they visit a place that they had never visited before. Now, if they've already come to see you and they like your services, that's different. But I'm talking about people who have not come to visit you before. they're going to be checking out your reviews. And if you don't have good reviews, or if you have very, very few reviews, they may very well decide not to visit you, especially if there's a neighbor of yours that provides services to someone down the block that's got a whole bunch of positive reviews. So how do we get a whole bunch of positive reviews without offering something positive? You can't offer something positive, or at least you shouldn't, because let me explain what I mean by that. If you said, hey, write a positive review about us and I'm going to give you a free massage, or I'm going to give you 15% off, or I'm going to give you a free bottle of blah, blah, blah. Well, if Yelp finds out, for instance, that you did that, Yelp can actually put a banner on your Yelp page that says it has come to Yelp's attention that this customer has purchased positive reviews. Can you even imagine how bad that would make you look? There have been companies that have sued Yelp for that, but Yelp has won every time that I know of, because they've been able to show, hey, this customer has given away a positive good for a positive review, and you're not allowed to do that. So makes you look bad. So this is what you want to do. We're going to go back to our marketing, create a list. I don't want somebody who visited me 8 months ago and never came back. I don't want that person reviewing me. I don't know why they didn't come back. Maybe they loved it, but they moved away, or they were just visiting town or something like that, and they loved it. Well, that's all well and good, but I don't know that. What I do know is that this person came in 8 months ago and never came back. So that's not somebody I want reviewing me. Who I want reviewing me is somebody who keeps coming back. They just keep coming back over and over and over again. That's who I want reviewing me. So what I want to do is go here where it says any visit. And I'm going to say any visit from April of last year. So I'll say April 1st of 2017 to today. So I'm basically going for an entire year, a little more than a year actually. And I'm going to say the number of visits is going to be, let's say 10, or maybe not that many, let's say 6. So what I'm saying here now is that somebody who has visited me 6 times in the last year, that's who I want on this list. Nobody else. Just people who have visited me 6 times in the last year. That means they're averaging coming to you every 2 months. That's somebody who probably has something really good to say about you, or they wouldn't keep coming back over and over again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So then after I've made a selection like that, I come down here and I call it perhaps, reviews, and then I create my list. Now I don't think, because I'm using sample data, I don't think I have anybody like that. So it's just going to go through my almost 4,000 customers here and pull up anybody that meets that. Like I said, I don't think anybody meets that criteria. Oh, somebody actually did. Good. Yeah. In my sample data, I do have one. I've got 2 actually. Adrius and Michelle. Okay, it doesn't matter how many it was, whether it was 25 or 250 or 2,500, whatever it is. I made my list. So now when I go and choose that list, where's my reviews? There it is. And I want to blast that. I'm going to make my email or my template, my text, but I'm going to make my email. Do I have one? No. Call it reviews maybe. And then my subject, which might be reviews, or no, that's the subject line that the customer is going to see. So once again, I'm going to say, hey, open caret, capital CF closed caret, and then choose my font, my size, upload my image maybe, and again, my body, which is going to say something, whatever I want, and I'm going to say, hey, open caret, CF closed caret, we love our clients and hope they love us too. Please do us a favor and using the links below. So you've got your social networking icons below, your Facebook, your Google+, your Yelp, etc. Please do us a favor and using the links below, write a review of what you think of us! Exclamation point. Now, again, you can write up more and more and more, but whatever you do, don't write that you're going to give them something special for it. Just, letting them know that you think the world of them, you hope they think the world of you, and you'd really like a review. Now, remember, the only people that are going to get this email or this text are people who have repeatedly come back to see you. So there is a very high likelihood that they have something positive to say about you. That's why you're only reaching out to those people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're not reaching out to that guy who saw you 8 months ago and never came back. You're just reaching out to those people who repeatedly come back to you. So now I can go to email, choose my reviews. I've already got my reviews list here. I've got my reviews template, and I process, and everybody on that list gets that message, and hopefully some of them will actually click the button and write your review. But this is a way for you to get reviews that you have a very high confidence is going to be a positive review. So you're not just blasting out to everybody, say, hey, write us a review. Or somebody who visited you yesterday and you say, you know, thanks for visiting us yesterday, write a review. Because you just don't know how they felt. But if they keep coming back, you've got a pretty good idea of how they felt. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's
Perfect.
that. Okay. All right. So moving on. The next thing we're going to talk about is something called transaction notes. So I'm going to go here to sales. And I'm going to pull up a transaction like Megan Nash here. So she saw Zena.
I've already done this now. I already know how to do this.
We could skip it.
So, I mean,
all right, no, that's fine. We'll move on.
Saw your last class, and I was able to pick up on this one. So we've got that one down.
Terrific.
It's really helped a lot too. By the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so we'll skip that.
The one thing on this one.
Go ahead.
You cannot write the note after, correct? It has to be done before it's been processed.
Before you process the transaction, because it actually gets associated with that transaction. It gets connected to it. So if you've already done the transaction, there's nothing, and the note hasn't yet been created, then you cannot associate a note with it. So yes, you're right.
Okay,
you create the transaction, then you write your note, then you process your transaction.
Yep. Yeah, I've trained my front desk how to do it, and it's actually helped a lot for the no-shows that sometimes we modify their price to 0, and it helps. I had a client the other day that he paid for his son his last haircut, so I put on there, you know, paid for a client for his son, and so that way now I can keep tabs of which ones he's paying for versus going to the history and saying, did he pay for the last one, the previous one, the one to come? So, you know, I was able to put on the paid for up to this date. So whatever's been done up to that date has been taken care of. But yeah, that really helps a lot on the note.
That's a great way to use it. Anytime that the transaction is out of the ordinary, I recommend putting a note on it. So that makes perfect sense. Okay. Are you familiar? The next thing that we were going to talk about is the points program. Are you familiar with the points program?
I don't use it. So I think once I start wanting to do the points program, I'll learn more about it, because I know if I learn something about it now, I'm just going to forget about it.
Sure. But, not a problem at all.
I know we're approaching our hour mark here. I do have a couple of, I don't know if we were done with the other stuff, but while you're on the register, one thing that I wanted to kind of start doing, because right now I have 3 registers, but really only 2 computers are the ones that are used the most. Now, I just recently learned how to switch, like, from register 1 to register 3. Is that possible? Like, for instance, if I were to be on my register 1 on computer number 1, and I want that person to close out that register, and then have the next person that's coming in, like, that's my morning person, and then having my afternoon person come and open up, because I know we can only open up 1 register per day. Can she then come in?
That's not the case, by the way. You can have multiple registers running on a single day. You just can't have multiple registers running on the same computer at the same time.
Correct. Okay, so now, if I were on that particular computer, switch out, like, have them close register number 1, or, you know, so close that one out. And then the second person that comes in for the afternoon changes that computer to now register 2, and she's going to withdraw all her cash, and she's going to open up with her own cash bag and everything on that computer as a different register. Is that possible?
It is, yes. It absolutely is. I hate doing this to you, though. I'm not entirely familiar with exactly how that's done. The good news is absolutely, yes, it can be done. I know that.
So once I
am
switch,
not sure, you would definitely want to talk to one of the techs about that, but they can definitely show you how to do that. You can close a drawer and reopen, and open a different drawer or different register on the same computer. You've already closed here like a shift. You're closing a shift, and somebody else is coming in. That other person is closed. They've taken their the monies out, etc., for deposits from their shift, and maybe they're leaving a float or leaving nothing, and then the next person comes in with their money bag and starts their shift. Absolutely, yes, you can do that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you would definitely want to speak to a tech about exactly how that's set up and how that's done, but the answer is yes, you can do that.
Okay, good. So I'll talk to a tech, because I did want to maybe even add a fourth register, even though I only have 3 computers, because I would like to have that if I have 4 people that day or just an extra person that day. But okay.
Yes.
And then,
and you can do that, and you're going to be able to say, this is register 1, but my total number of registers is 4. And then when you can, I know that that's part of the setup of it. And then you could say, this is register 2, and the total number of registers is 4.
I learned how to do that the other day, so it helped a lot, because I was able to switch around. But okay. And then my last question would also, it has nothing to do with this. It's basically with inventory. I'm training someone to do inventory. So the other day I went in there. I know how to go to the inventory, go down to the worksheet, to actually from report. Sorry, because I had them on the report, and then I printed out all of the ones, and so he's going up to the front. He's checking all the products. I haven't done it in a long while, so there's a lot of my products that is their incorrect count. What would be the easiest way for him to change the count on those without having to go to, because the way I've done it in the past,
he's going to each individual and then changing the ending quantity on hand?
Exactly. I know there's an easier way, right?
There is. So let's say that I've got my new counts. I went to inventory, I went to my physical count batch file, and I said I want to print out a worksheet for, I'll say, I'll just choose one vendor here. I don't even know what I have, but I'll go with OPI and accept. So I'm printing out a physical count batch. Of course, it's going to my printer now, which doesn't help you at all. But what it's going to show is it's going to show my SKU numbers. It's going to show the name of the product, and it's going to give me information on it. But it's also going to show me a number that it believes this is how many I have, and then a blank line, which is how many you really have. So you're going to do your physical count, and you're going to write in how many you actually have. So then you're able to go here and say product 20, I actually have 5 of those. And I'm going to say product 30, I actually have 7 of those. And product 40, I actually have 20 of those. So you do that, and once you're done, because you've got the worksheet, and so you just plug them in so much faster than going and looking up each individual product, because the list has the SKU numbers on it, the printout has the SKU numbers on it, and it gives you your totals, etc. So you plug them in, and then after you plug them in, you get to process your batch, and it will update all of your quantities correctly. So you don't have to go into each individual product and do that. So yes, that'll save you a lot of time.
And that was inventory.
That was inventory, physical count batch file. Then, yes. I want to clear it. Yes. And then you're going to print out your worksheets, maybe for all your products or by vendors.
I print out my worksheets a different way, but I could see that it can be printed out from here too.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And then once you've done that and you've done your physical count, then you come right back here, type in the SKU, type in the actual. So after you type in a SKU number, like so, 20, you have to remember to hit enter. That way you'll see the name of the product. If you don't hit enter, if the name isn't there, then you haven't actually done it properly. Then you put in your actual count, how many you actually have, and enter again, and it'll appear over here.
Okay.
Then your next number, enter the actual number count.
I knew there was an easier way of doing that.
Yep.
So.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Well, unfortunately, the class is over. But I don't want to just say the class is over, goodbye. What I want to do is I just kind of want to open it and say, do you have any remaining questions that I might be able to help you with before we continue? I mean, before we end the class.
No, that was, oh, there was one other thing. Okay,
Go ahead.
When we're on the report,
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to remember how we did this. So we have done ourselves for the day.
Sales report for the day?
Yeah, like, you know how I usually go to the batch reports and it prints out what we have for our daily reports.
Okay.
And then from those, if we see anything that's wrong, like one of the persons, she didn't get a credit for something, and we go back and adjust that ticket. When we reprint a batch report, it doesn't come back with
the change that you made?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen is this. Let's take a look here really quick. I'm going to go to sales here and view my last transaction. Let me just take a look at my last transaction. Okay, so this was Hannah Daba. She saw Jeanette. She got a 45-minute body massage, and she paid cash $68. Okay. So let's take a look. I'm going to go to reports. I'm going to go to sales, service sales, and I'm going to say for all operators and accept. And I'm just going to do it for today. And except this is just one of many reports that you could run on it. But here's my 45-minute massage. Oh, no, that's not going to be what I want because I wanted it specifically for someone like Jeanette. Sales, service sales, and let's say for a selected operator, and we'll go with Jeanette and accept, put in my date range. So there's my 45-minute body massage that she did, okay? This is for Jeanette. There's that 45-minute body massage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my sales here. I'm going to pull that transaction, and you could pull this transaction up from their client file, of course, but I'm going to go here and I'm going to modify this. And I'm going to say, no, it wasn't Jeanette, it was Fiona. After I make a change, I must remember to hit save after I've made my change. Then any other part of that transaction that includes Jeanette's name, I need to make sure that's changed too. Now, there's only two parts to this, and only one of them was Jeanette, so I'm done. So now it's Fiona. So done. And let's go take a look at our reports. And let's go to sales, service sales. We're going to go to the very same one we just did. This time I'm going to go to Jeanette and accept, put in my date range. And as you can see, that 45-minute body is gone because I adjusted that transaction. It's going to be on Fiona's now. Reports, sales, service sales for a selected operator. Choose Fiona.
I don't know. I can't remember what it was that I corrected one time on one report. And I didn't see the change. I think we voided out a ticket and it didn't come out on my new reports or the changes on the reports for.
Okay, well, I would say, as you could see, it just worked just fine for me. I changed it from Jeanette to Fiona. It left Jeanette's report. It became part of Fiona's report. But what I want to say is this. You say, you can't remember exactly. If it happens again, immediately contact our tech support so that they can take a look at exactly what changes were made so that they can figure out either what you did wrong or if there's an error.
Okay.
But right now, all I can tell you is it works. And I did it and it works just fine.
I wrote down the will report reflect new corrections, but I didn't say which report. And so, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every report is, the reports are generated from the transaction index. So when you actually modify a transaction, you're modifying your report as well.
Okay. All right. Well, then,
I did want to make you aware that I did record this class. If you would like, Eliana, I can email you a recording of this class that you just attended. Would you like me to do that?
Please.
Okay. All right. I've got your email address, and I'm going to email you a copy of this class. It should probably be to you within the next 2 hours or less.
Not a problem.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too, man.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.